Hey geeks, check this out. I'm gonna show you a wintertime pattern that works every time. That's right, geeks. I have got a pattern that you've heard me talk about a lot in the past, but we're gonna deep dive this pattern right now. We're gonna talk about everything you need to have this pattern set up so that you can catch a ton of bass. Now I know we got a couple of good smallmouth back there in the box right now, but this works for largemouth too, because they all love a combination of structure and cover. And this is where you go to find them and how you catch them when that water temp is in those low 50s to upper 40s. Right off the bat. Yeah, no. About 15 feet, Mike. So they might be up. I'm gonna get right here to where this transition is and fish both sides of it. They may be more sitting in that undercut right there. That might have been that wood. That might have been the wood. Oh, we got a follower.
Where's that little ditch to the left of it?
That's a big follower. Come on. Huh?
Is that a ditch to the left of it right there?
Yeah. That's what you'd call ditch, yeah. There was something big following it. And see, that might be the thing too. You know what we got out here? Looks like we got a tree out here, just a little old tree with maybe a couple just sitting on it. Just as pretty as you please. Come on. Come on, get down there. Get down there. Oh God! I got him. Let's see which one he hit, boys. Look here. So he hit the sour grape, which we've got this rigged up. We're just kind of playing around. He hit the sour grape there. We got a couple of, we know that they like the largemouth on this lake seem to like the electric blue chartreuse. Smallmouth seem to like sour grape. And then of course we've got a natural color on the back. So we're just playing around, seeing what happens. He sure liked that sour grape. There's a bunch of them sitting out there on a hard spot with a piece of timber that's bowed over. I'll run back up and see if we can't catch another one off that. So one of the things is we drop into those 50s, 52 to 45, 55 to 45. To me, that's winter fishing. Now, there's still a little bit of that migration left. If you're looking for some really good information on the fall to winter migration, we've got a great video of that. I'll share that at the end. But the pattern that we've really been on today, as you can tell, I mean, just look behind me, they're dropping this lake. They're dropping this lake to what we call winter pool in my area. And we talk a lot in some videos earlier about how that begins to pull the shad out of the back and start to migrate, and that you've actually got several different groups of fish. What we've been targeting back here today are actually what I call local bass. So they're going to live in this creek as it drops. They're just going to move to about the halfway point, and they're going to get on whatever they can get on that's going to hold heat and hold bait. There's not a lot of bait back here at all right now. A little bit of bait, which will stay back here too. The majority of the bait has already moved to the mouths of the creeks. But unlike what everybody else tells you when they tell you, hey, go to the mouths of the creeks when the water temps get that cold, or go to the main lake, you can actually take an A-rig and go back. And the reason why I say an A-rig is because a lot of times it's going to have a lot of drawing power. It's going to pull those bass up off the bottom so that you can hit, so that they'll hit. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. But our first fish that we caught today was actually off some wood that was just slightly off the bank that we run across. And sure enough, the first bite of the day happened. But with this pattern, don't actually be too concerned about how much shad are in the area. Be concerned that you have two things. You've got a good rocky chunk rock. We call it, it's slate, but we call it black rock around here. Be sure you've got those two things. Some sort of wood, something that's going to hold heat. They love to be on wood when it gets down this low. And a lot of times they're not necessarily feeding up. They're kind of done feeding for a minute until all those shad kind of get out and get in those big giant groups. And right now they're really spread out, just throughout the water column on the main lake, up shallow, looking at, really getting that sunlight. So again, what you're looking for is you're looking for those creeks that are going to hold depth year round. You're going to go back about midway back, and you're going to get on those banks that face the north. And you're going to get on those banks that really get sunlight all day long consistently from sun up to sundown. Now, with this, and we're going to go over the components in just a second, tell you what we've been doing with it. With this, you really want to slow roll it. That's a key, because one of the things about these bass is their strike windows have really shrank down. So they're not going to follow very far. They may come up off that wood, but sometimes you have to entice them. We'll talk about that in retrieve here in just a second. But let's talk about components right now. So I've got a lot of good videos on different types of equipment that you can use for this. Today we're using the Big Daddy Baits Baby A-Rig. So it's a little smaller, a little more condensed. And you're going to notice we've got quite the array of colors on here. And that's something actually that I do enjoy doing. And the reason why is because in nature, no bait fish is the same color, or no bait fish gives off the same flash. But also it's because for whatever reason on this lake, the smallmouth like the sour grape by Ramsey, the largemouth like the electric blue chartreuse, and we just decided to put a natural on, which is that's a Kitech, and this is I think an Easy Swimmer. Anyway, links will be in the description for all the equipment that we have here. And like I always say, we don't do memberships or anything like that, so the best way really to support us, if you don't mind just bookmarking that down there, or clicking that QR code or scanning that QR code right there, and just bookmark it on your phone. Now, as far as equipment goes, we're going to be throwing it. This is our caching. This is the umbrella rig rod. I believe this is a core A-rig rod. This is American made, and we've got it coupled with the BB1 Pro. This is an older model. The new one works great, and it's a 6.4 to 1. And that's got a lot to do with everything. Oh, and by the way, canine line that is Pro 100% fluorocarbon, and I would tell you to put 20-pound test on. We're only using 15-pound test. I just because I'm fishing very clear water, and we throw the Alabama rig a lot, so I'm kind of used to this whole setup. Weight on the heads, we've got 3/4 and 2/8. We are on a lake where it's split. We're on the Virginia side, so we're throwing 5 hooks up here. But like I said, that first fish really tipped us off to what was going on today, and then we had a little bit of wind. So the conditions you're absolutely going to want a little bit of chop, especially on a clear lake like today. We got a little bit of cloud cover this morning. It actually worked into our favor. If you don't have those things and you've got clear water, let's say anything over 2 feet, then this pattern is going to be out for you. So let's talk about the location of this pattern. This pattern is, we're really targeting those laydowns, those blowdowns, those brush piles. And we're targeting those that are the ends of them. So we're talking, they're going to be anywhere from 15 to 25 feet. And we're going to slow roll that bait down. Doesn't seem like it. We've seen some fish come up out of the rock, but 90% of the time they're sitting right on the ends, and sometimes not in. They're going to be stuck to the bottom. So you are going to reel this thing painfully slow. You're going to want to feel it hitting the bottom sometimes. And every once in a while, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just barely tweak that rod. I'm not giving it a hard turn. I'm just giving it a slight turn. And a lot of times that'll trigger them. Their strike windows are super, super small right now, so they're not going to follow very far. And, you know, one of the things that we've noticed on forward-facing sonar, as we've watched them follow, the more they follow, the more distance that comes between them. So they're going to hit pretty quick, so you're going to have to make sure you're reeling very slow. We're finding them even back in the creeks, and one of the things that I like is to get around places that don't have a lot of shad. And the reason why is because in the trees there's going to be a lot of crappie, a lot of bluegill, maybe a lot of small shore minnows, that sort of thing, or even small bass, so they'll cannibalize each other. I want to get in those areas where those bass maybe don't have just this smorgasbord of bait fish to be able to choose from. And those are the places that we're getting bit at today on this. And a lot of times where that's at right now with 51-degree water temps is halfway back in the creeks. Our second fish was exactly that. So remember, geeks, the things you need for this to work, you need a little bit of wood, and that can be docks too. Docks are going to work great, but you're going to need a brush pile. Adjust your weight accordingly. We're fishing deeper, of course, because we're on these highlands reservoirs. You're going to need a little bit of wind. If you're in clear water, it's going to be the key. Something that's going to break up the A-rig as it's coming through the water. And then you're going to need to really fish painfully slow. Painfully slow. It's winter time. Slow roll that. This is one of my most productive patterns, and you're going to target a lot of times when the water temps are 55 to 52, 51, the middle to the first thirds of the creek, and then you can target those main lake areas as you get down into those low 50s and upper 40s. At least here. Upper 40s, 45 and above is pretty much winter temps here. But right now, an A-rig is probably one of my go-tos as we're transitioning to that full winter bite. And you should pick it up and try it too. Like I said, the last video we talked about an A-rig, which we gave away. We even had tips about how to throw it from the bank, and it'll get you bites. All right, geeks, you can see it right there, baby. Look at that. You know, He's healed up nicely where we got him in the back. A couple of decent ones here today. We didn't catch anything great, but this is why when the going gets tough, you go looking for wood and rock cover. First half to first thirds of the creeks. Be behind the shad just a little bit. Some of these bluegill and panfish eaters right here, you can see they've been feeding. They got a belly on them. That is a pattern that works a lot. They'll set right off the edge, and let's get these back in. Off he goes. Off he goes. But those fish were setting on the deeper ends of those trees, and they're not going to follow a lot. So remember, use that little retrieve trick where you just barely twitch that rod. You don't want a lot of movement because the shad aren't going crazy. They're just flexing that A-rig a tiny little bit. That'll get you bit. If you want to watch that video we talked about earlier, go right here. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comments section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. Pick up an A-rig in the wintertime, and you geeks rock.